Hello, Steve Mills here. It's great to be back on my Results Mastery podcast. It's been a little while, actually. Do you know what? I've got no excuse other than the excuse that everybody makes, and that's that they've been so busy. So I think it's been about, I don't know, 7 days. I try and do 2 or 3 a week, but I'm here and I'm here with Catherine Newton. Welcome to the conversation, Catherine. It's great to have you here, and you're coming to us live from New Zealand. How about
That's
that? How
right.
cool is that?
I'm coming to you a day ahead.
A day ahead, yeah? We'll never catch you up.
It's right.
It just amazes me. When I first started out in marketing, it was all about sticking adverts in yellow pages and
Right.
perhaps recording videos using this camera that's about this big and
Yes, of
sticking it
course. Yeah,
onto
yeah. It's funny, eh?
sticking it onto a video recorder. And and
Yes.
actually that's not that long ago. I've been doing this 28 years, so it's not
Amazing.
it's not 100 years ago.
Yes, yes, yeah,
And
well.
and look where we are now. We can communicate across the world and share something on basically on TV and radio, which is
Yeah.
video and podcasts. So welcome to the conversation. Anyway, it's great to have you here.
Thank
We're
you.
going to talk about marketing and business growth and stuff
Mm.
like that. But just to kick off, would you give everybody a little bit of an overview of you and what you do, please?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, I'm Catherine Newton. So awesome to be here, Steve. So thanks for having me on your results mastery. And I was particularly interested in understanding around the importance of getting results right for our customers and getting results for ourselves, because we being in business ourselves, we're always on this journey, aren't we, of evolving and of becoming the best that we can be. And I've gone on this really exciting journey of learning how to be effective at becoming magnetic in our marketing, Steve. And that's been the journey that I've been taken on through all of my years. I've been a CEO for an 8-figure company. I've worked for myself. I've worked for others, and I've come into this full circle of this knowing that I love working for myself.
Yeah,
I love helping people get results.
yeah,
And I love and understand the concept of what it takes in our marketing to improve our results
uh-huh.
and to actually really understand what it takes to get our marketing into that next level, Steve, so that, like you talked about the fact that, you've been doing this for 28 years. There are some things that work and there are some things that work better.
Yeah.
And the awesome thing is on this journey, right, was that we get to discover that, and then
Yeah.
we get to find it out, and then we get to share it with our tribe. And so that's what we're both here
Uh,
for.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely kindred spirits. I think what you said there is so it's like simple, but it's very profound.
Right.
People do marketing, and sometimes they get no results. It actually
That's it.
fails, and I've done that
That's
many,
it.
many times.
Yes,
Other
yes.
times, they get an okay result
Mm,
based on what they've done. Other times, it's pretty good. And other times it's I call that level mastery, where we've got
yeah.
nobody's an expert in marketing, I don't believe,
Mm,
because the expert is somebody who knows everything, and that's impossible, I believe, certainly in today's world where everything's happening new. I
so
learned about
quickly.
totally new mind-blowing things in this last week that with AI and everything. It's
Yes.
just, boy, is it difficult to keep
Is
up.
it?
Uh,
Yes.
you
Yes.
but yeah, I love the concept of how can we do this better, and
That's it.
that's really what we should all be striving to do. I think in
That's it. And I think one of the things I've learned along the way, Steve, is that when we can develop a rapport with our customers and to help them to see that we are an industry leader or an expert, or you talk about expert as being someone that knows everything. I see it more as someone who actually is an authority, someone who has an
Yeah,
understanding deeper and more richer than the person that they're teaching or training. And I find that when they understand that you're a person who can actually help them to achieve their goals, and to take control of their lives, or take control of their marketing, or take control of their results, what
yeah,
happens is that's when they want to do business with you. And
yes,
that's when it gets exciting, right?
yeah,
That's when that
yeah,
you
yeah,
can,
yeah.
really make a difference for them.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, for anybody who's not a marketing person. They're in business, they've been running the business for a while. It's
Right.
really,
They're good at what they do.
they're good at what they do, and they want to go better. But how do they find the right person? Is it Steve? Is it Catherine? Is it somebody else? And if you're buying something, I've just got over here my vitamin D tablets. I look at
Yes.
those and I know exactly what it does on the tin. I look
Yes.
at the label and I think, do you know what? This looks good. I read the direct. I can understand immediately what this is going to do for me
Yes. Yeah.
without any problem. But it's difficult, I think, when you in the advisory world to be able to get somebody to a level where they understand that you're the person that's going to work with
Mm.
them. And
I think that's where it's our job, isn't it?
yeah,
That's our
it
job
is.
to
Yeah, yeah,
become, yeah, it's our job to become magnetic for them.
yeah,
And part of the way that I see that helps really in a really intuitive and expansive way is that first and foremost, that when we know our goals and we are willing to make them bigger and brighter and bolder than the next person, and actually to make them bigger than you think, to the point where, like,
oh yeah,
my
yeah,
goals, Steve, I love to see my goals as something that I'm galloping into my wildest
yeah,
dreams,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And when I articulate that with my tribe, with my prospects, with
yeah,
my customers, and I help them to see actually that they can have these goals that are bigger and brighter and better than they've ever imagined. And what I do is I don't show them, I don't tell them, I show them,
yeah,
right? So they see me embodying my work. They see me embodying my goals. They see
yeah,
me living my business and its financial return and the capacity and the people I'm there to serve. And then they get to start to see what their goals are as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
And I find that becomes really helpful, Steve.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. So you're leading by example, aren't you?
That's it.
I have my group meetings, and we kick them off with all my clients where we say, right, okay, results for this week. What have we done? What marketing we done? How many
Yep.
leads we created? How many sales have we got? And I include myself in that. I go through my results so they can say,
Excellent.
right, well, Steve's done all this, and that sort of, in a way, gets them thinking, "Oh, blimey, heck, I better do more next week." Then. And that's
Good for
that's
you.
what they want. But I take your point on board, and it's a really
Mm.
important one about the goals and making
Mm.
them big enough. I remember
Mhm.
listening one day to Tony Robbins, who I'm sure most people on the call today will know about, or on the podcast
Right.
video, should I
Yeah.
say, will know about. And Tony said, if you set small, achievable, realistic goals, then you do a bit of effort to achieve them. You take a
Right.
massive goal and you're going to
That's
work
it.
like a what in
That's it.
try to achieve that goal.
That's it.
That's always
I
been
s-
my attitude.
yeah, and I studied under Bob Proctor. I was very
Oh,
lucky back in
okay, wow,
2012
great.
to work with Bob Proctor,
Yeah,
and he talked about the difference between the A, B, and C goals. And
okay.
the A goal is easy, no problem,
Yeah,
effortless. You
yeah,
can do that, with your eyes closed. The
yeah.
B goal is it's a bit of a stretch. It's like you're gonna have to get up earlier. You're gonna have to change your habits. You're gonna have to start doing things a bit differently. But
Uh-huh.
the C goal is the big, wide wonderful, audacious,
Yeah,
galloping into your wildest dreams kind of goal, that if you reach that goal, then anything's possible.
yeah.
And that's the one that makes you
Makes
do
all the
more, be
difference.
more, show up more.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I'm not sure whether you know, but when I was a younger man, a much younger man, many years ago, I used to play table tennis at international level. I was a full-time
Oh,
tennis player, and my
wow.
goal from being like 14 was always to
Yes.
be a world champion. That was it. Like
There you
second
go.
in
That's a
didn't
seagull.
exist.
Mm.
I want to be the world champion. Now, to be honest, I didn't get anywhere near that. I
Okay.
beat a few of the top world ranked players, and I got ranked 6 in England, and beat had some good wins and made a living and so on. But I firmly believe to this day, if my goal would have been to have been in the top 10 in England, I'd have
Mm.
probably been in the top 50 in England. But because it
Mm.
be the world champion, the amount of effort I put into it was phenomenal.
Wow.
And
Yes.
for whatever reason, didn't have the talent, didn't have the coaching, didn't have the whatever. It got me
Mm.
to a level which was fantastic,
Mm.
but not to the level that I was wanting. So
Mm.
sometimes, you can get to that level, but even if you
Mm.
don't, it still gets you a lot more than you would have got if you
That's it.
just had the A-level goals, that you
That's it.
did anyway.
And of course, the one of the very things that helps you to get there too is using positive languaging
Yeah,
instead of oh maybe or might or that would be kind of cool. Actually realizing that the language that we use is actually one of the most powerful persuasion tools if we're selling to our customers, or it's one of our most advanced skills that we can use
yeah,
to actually to lead people to us, to help them to believe in us, to help them to believe in themselves. And part of
absolutely.
what I do, Steve, with my marketing messages is that I stay in the positive. So I lead people in by inviting them to get excited. Like, do you want to become magnetic in your marketing? Do you want people
Yeah,
to
yeah,
find
yeah,
you? Do you want to effortlessly to be able to put your marketing campaigns together? So I
yeah,
lead them in through this curiosity, this wonderment, if you like, and I stay out of the pain, because Lord knows, Steve, there's enough pain in this
yeah,
world, right? We
yeah.
don't need to remind them.
No, no.
uh, and of course we can use it in our marketing along the way,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's important to also be realistic and be
yeah,
balanced and say, yes, these things are going to happen. But if we can stay in the positive and we can show them what's possible, I feel that that's part of our job. If we want to help people to master what they
yeah.
do, part of our job is to show them what's possible.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm obviously familiar with the concept around magnetic marketing, but do you want to explain to everybody exactly what you mean about that?
I would love to. So to me, magnetic marketing is when your customers are automatically attracted to you. And what I notice is that in the process of becoming magnetic, what happens is that you, as the marketer, as the seller, as the coach, as the consultant, as the person who has the product or services that they're trying to invite people into, when we become more confident about the work that we do, when we become willing to be more of a trailblazer, more of an authority, more of someone who believes in themselves and has no doubt that their product or service is the way forward, what happens is that people become, I believe, attracted to that level of, I mean, sometimes, Steve, I almost see it as a bit of audacity, right? We're audacious enough to say, I can help you. We're willing enough to say, come into my world.
Mm,
We are um enticing enough to be able to say, I've had these X results with my customers, and I can help you do the same. And when we start to speak from that place of authority and excitement and energy and
mm,
conviction, when we lead from that place, when we speak from that place, when we exist from that place, when we share results that customers have had by working with us, people become naturally curious around, well, how can I turn my business from where it is now into six figures? How can I 10x my results? And if we start to share the things that we've done, right? So speaking from a place of authority, but also from a place of truth. Because
Yes,
for me, I'm never going to teach something unless I've embodied it myself. It's really
I
important to me.
agree. Yeah, I'm the same.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, integrity is really important. And so what happens is we start to tell stories, we start to talk about results, we start to show how we've been effective in the work that we've been doing. And what I notice is that then what happens is that we use the right languaging and people want to lean in to us.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
want to find out more. They want to be in our world. And I'm in the place now, Steve, where I am literally willing to say to people, you you are welcome in my world, and now is a really great time for you to come in, because the work that I'm doing with my clients, it is transforming lives, and working with me is a complete game changer. Now, when we are courageous enough to speak like that from
Yeah.
a place again of integrity, not from a place of ego, not because like, I just want to make seven figures in my business. No, from a place of, I know I can help you and
Yeah.
I'm here for that. And I want to welcome you into my world. What starts to happen is that we become more believable, I feel, and that is part of the magnetism. We're willing to share our why. We're willing to share with people why this is going to work for them too. Uh, and yeah, it's part of the excitement, Steve, of like, come into my world, we
Mhm.
can have a good time. It'll be fun. We'll change lives. You'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
What's not to love about that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's what you're saying is so true. We've,
Mm.
I think, if we don't believe in ourselves
That's
as
it.
advisors, how could
Yeah.
anybody else believe in us? And,
That's it. That's
and,
it.
and I think, I spend a lot of my time, and I know you do as well,
Mm.
demonstrating my expertise. That's why we're doing this, isn't it? To be
That's it.
sit
Yes.
down with a fellow marketer and
Mm.
talk about business and how to grow it, what
Mm.
you need to do, and hopefully demonstrate our expertise and
Mm.
you know
Mm.
and
Well,
help people.
one of the things that, as I said in the beginning, that you spoke about, Steve, which is so true, is the fact that one of the biggest problems that people have as they are growing their businesses is that they either don't have time for marketing or they don't
Yeah,
make time for marketing.
I know.
And I know that in itself is a mindset shift, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, people come to me generally for one of three reasons. They either don't
Yes.
have time, they don't get it. In other words, they hate, and I mean hate, they hate digital marketing. They even don't like marketing. Or they just are not. People tell me all the time, oh, I'm not very technical. I don't like this. I don't like doing this. And I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't do very much because I don't know what to do. Would be something I've heard many times. And then the third group are the group who go, well, I've never done any marketing. We just rely
Wow.
on word of mouth and repeat business, and they're going along, ticking along. But now
Right.
they want to really start to leverage their business to grow it. And they're the three groups of people I think that people like you and I can help most.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy. It's difficult running a business, and I think for anybody who does that, I've got huge respect for them, and I've made it my mission to try and help them as much as I can.
Beautiful. Yeah, I agree. It's challenging, but it's also one of the greatest personal development journeys we
It
can go
is.
on.
It is. It's great.
It is one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves to if we can conquer this. And I don't know about you, but who I have become as a result of owning my business
Yeah,
is
I agree.
someone that I'm realizing that actually uh I love this journey so
Yeah,
much. And this is part of what I teach my clients and people around me around marketing, is that what if you could fall in love with your marketing? What if you could
Yeah.
fall in love with the
With
15
your
minutes a
business.
day that you need
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
to write that blog or
Yeah.
to post that article or to put up
Yeah.
that story? Because when we can teach our customers to fall in love with their marketing and to give them the tactics, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure that that's what you do too, right? Give them the
Yeah.
tactics, how
Yeah.
they can fall in love with it, and then to also realize that actually when they can shed their programming around the fact that marketing's hard or bad, sales is hard or bad, money is evil, when we can get them to
Mm.
drop all of that and realize that nothing of value happens without sales,
No.
without marketing, and without making money,
Yeah.
right? And what are we all here for? We're all here to help people add value to their lives.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. Without marketing, there'd be no
Mm,
economy. There'd be no
yeah,
business. And
that's right.
uh,
Yeah,
this. Oh, I'm not a salesperson.
right.
It's just rubbish because you are.
Right.
You've
We're all
got
selling.
a job. You've
Are
got
you
a business.
exactly? Are you a parent, Steve?
I am. Yeah,
Yes, so I'm a parent too.
yeah.
My children are older. In fact, my daughter lives in London, and
Okay.
I'm excited about coming over soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you'll know that, of course, as parents, we've been in sales and marketing ever since our children were small. We've
Yes.
been negotiating to get them to
Yeah,
clean their rooms
yeah,
or to eat their
yeah.
vegetables,
You got to
and
sell.
we've
You got
been
to sell them on.
selling
Yeah, you got to sell them on the idea that they need
selling
to
them on
go
the
to
idea.
bed in the
That's
evening.
it. That's it. Yeah, it's that, and
Yeah.
this is the thing, is that when we can change our mindset, we can shift our thinking into realizing that actually what we're doing is we're adding value.
Yes.
We're adding value, and we're not selling to people. We're not
No.
asking them for money. We're not marketing to them. We're
No.
adding value to their lives, and those that feel drawn to buy our product or service will naturally put their hand up and say, "Tell me more." And that's when we can do that.
That's the thing, isn't it? Someone like us, if we work for somebody and
Yeah.
make them 10x, for every pound we spend them, we get £5, £10 back in
Right.
additional, how often would you like to do that? I'd do that all day,
That's a great
every day.
question.
And that's
Mm,
that's ultimately what it's all
that's
about.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you love most about what you do, Steve?
I love the helping people. I really do.
Mm,
And seeing
yes.
people be successful,
Mm,
it just absolutely, it's like, wow,
yes.
you know, and I've always set out, I could very easily go and get, 2 or 3 corporate clients, work as a part-time marketing director type person or what,
Right. Yes. Been there,
and
done that. Yep.
do that. But do you know what? They're fine. They've got their marketing people. It's the small businesses that haven't. The small businesses that
Mm,
I don't know about in New Zealand, but in this country, you hear statistics like 8 out of 10 go bust in 5 years, and that's in
mm,
good times, not in times like we're going through.
mm,
That's alarming. That's terrible because when they
mm,
do go bust, they often, lose their house, they lose their
mm,
marriage sometimes,
mm.
their
Their
car,
confidence.
and it's just like, it can be
Mm,
devastating to people,
mm,
certain
mm,
young people. I remember working with one guy who'd made a typical business mistake, actually. He was in recruitment and it was based in Newbury, where the Vodafone world headquarters is. And he turned over 1.5 million. And one day he got a letter from Vodafone, a letter, not even a phone call, a letter from Vodafone saying, "Thank you ever so much for the last 10 years, but we've decided to do all our recruitment in-house from now on." And 80% of his business was with one client, and that was Vodafone. So he lost
oh my
80% of
gosh.
£1.5 million that day. And
Oh my goodness.
and he phoned me up at the end of the day saying, "Can you help?" And to be honest, he was
Mm,
virtually in tears. He said, "I've
of
got to get
course.
rid of all my staff. I've got to, I've got to go in and tell them." And
Gosh.
he was virtually in tears, and that's
Gosh.
awful. And
That's really
I'm
sad,
sure
isn't
you
it?
agree that
Mm,
one of anything is never very good. If you got one
mm, mm.
one customer, one way of marketing,
Right.
one sales guy, and that person leaves or whatever, it's always tough. So,
Mm, mm.
I think there's something to learn there. So we're coming towards the end. If I said to you, what are the top 3, and I'm putting you on the spot here because we didn't realize that we were going to do this. What are the top
Go on,
3
try
tips?
me.
What are the top 3 tips that you could give anybody listening who's really keen to grow their business? Over to you. What would your top 3 tips be?
Oh, this is a great question. So first and foremost, do your research. Always start with your research. You might have this big idea, but actually until you found if there is a gap in the market and a market in the gap, you don't know what you're doing. And that's when you can go into a, downward spiral of losing the house if you invest in something and pursue something that is not in the highest interest. And so please, if we're going to say, do your market research and understand whether there is actually a gap in the market for what you want to do. The second thing is that, and I come back to what I said before, is know your goals and aim as high as you can, and make sure that you have a support team around you to hold your feet to the fire, because part of this journey of being an entrepreneur and doing what we're doing is you get to, I'm not saying you have to, you get to show up daily. You get to be consistent. You get to dream big dreams. You get to lead the way. And unless you've got these goals that you refer to daily. So one of the things that Bob Proctor taught me was write your goals out and keep them somewhere near you and look at them every single day. I read my goals every day, people. Every day. I am consistent with that.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe, I mean, there's so many things I could say more to these ideas that we're talking about here, but I want to say that actually the third thing that has really helped me, and this is an intangible concept, what I'm about to share with you.
Okay.
But it has literally changed my life, and I have done this every day, every night, for 3 years, and that's how long I've been in the reinvention of my business. And that is gratitude.
Okay.
Every single night, Steve, I write down what I'm grateful for, and I share it with a gratitude buddy. And what that does is it means that I go to bed hopeful. It means I go to bed wondering about what's possible. I go to bed feeling optimistic about what I've done, what I've accomplished, and what I'm here. And I have a person that I do this with, and she sees me, and she is my the person that helps me to continue this consistent strategy. So I do your research, people. Know your goals, and be consistently grateful for this journey, because there will be days, as you well know, Steve, when this is hard and you're going to want to give up. And when you can find and dig deep into the things that you're grateful for, then you will rise to another day to find more things to be grateful for, and more will come to you. I really genuinely believe that.
Great 3 tips. Great 3 tips. Really like that. I love that you're saying of pushing your feet to the fire. I like that. I thought that was a good saying. But also, I'll just show you over here. Actually, I think you're absolutely right. And there we go. There are my 5 goals that are in front of me every single day. I read them. I've got them framed up on my wall, sat right in front of me there, and that makes a difference, I think. So you get what you focus on, and reading it. I read mine aloud every day. Such a difference, because it gets me focused on what I want, not what
it really does.
Thinking I might be getting.
It really does. And Steve, of course, the bonus one that you and I both know fundamentally is don't do it alone. Ask for help. You know, ask a mentor, ask a coach, ask a support group, ask, you know, be part of a mastermind,
Can't know
ask
everything,
people
can you?
who,
You know, that's why I tell people you can't, it's impossible. You know, you know, you just cannot know everything about running a business. And if you're you know, an expert in what you do, whether that's, you know, repairing cars, cutting hair, or, you know,
yeah,
you're a coach, you're a, you know,
yeah,
an accountant, you know, you've
yes,
got expertise, but, you know, the biggest problem often in business is a lack of sales, you know, and
right.
you're not an expert in that, you know. I was talking in Birmingham at an event a little while ago, and I had about 1,000 people in the room, and I said, hands up, who's responsible for sales in their business? I had 1,000 hands. Okay, hands up, who's done any sales training in the last year? There's about 50 hands went up. So I said, the rest of you are paying a salesperson to work in your business who cannot be bothered getting any sales training. I said,
Wow.
does that not, you know, ring a bell there that you perhaps ought to
Mm,
be doing that? And I think
mm,
so
mm,
through.
mm.
So okay,
Amazing.
so we're just about out of time. Thank you ever so much for being here, Catherine. Really, really appreciate it. If people want to find out more about you, what you
Mm,
do, and how you can help them, what
mhm.
should they do?
Oh, I'd love them to follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Catherine Newton. That's Catherine with a C. And my website, of course, is catherinenewton.com. And yeah, I do daily stories because for me, marketing is fun, and I want to show people how they can make it fun. And my love and my passion is to help people and to, you know, show them what's possible with what they do as well. So yeah, come and join me on Instagram.
Okay.
And I look forward to watching your journey too, Steve, and seeing how
Yeah.
this podcast can grow and how we can help you do that.
Well, perhaps when you come to London, we can cross paths again, and maybe
That would
even
be outstanding.
why not this for an idea? Perhaps we do a joint seminar or something like that while you're in
There you
London.
go.
That might
There
be
you
helpful.
go. There you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Perhaps talk about that off
Sounds
at the
amazing.
end. But you know, if you're over here, you know, why not?
Mm,
And,
mm.
you know, next time I'm in New Zealand, I will.
There you go.
We could do
That's
the
how it
same again.
works,
We
right?
could do the same again. That would be really
I
cool.
love it.
Okay. Thank you ever so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope it was of value. I'm sure it was. And if you need to know more from me, you can see all my details behind you. Get in touch. And yeah, one of us can definitely help you. Thank you ever so
Yeah.
much for listening.